Dear students, greetings of the day. Today we are going to continue the second supplementary reader header leak. Okay. In last video we had seen the main characters in the story. The main characters are Sherlock Holmes. He is a famous investigating officer. Then Dr. Watson. He is Sherlock's friend. Then James Wilson. He was the owner of the pawn shop with red hair. Then Vincent Spaulding. Vincent Spaulding was a notorious thief. His real name was John Clay. He joined in Wilson shop as an assistant. Okay. Then Duncan Rose. He was also a thief. Then he is Spaulding's companion to commit a crime. Then he was the head of the red-headed league. Then he also had bright red hair in his head. Okay. Then Mr. Jones, he was an investigating officer from Scotland Yard. Okay. Then we had seen Dr. Watson visits his friend Sherlock's apartment to meet him. There he saw his friend Sherlock was talking to the client James Wilson. Then Sherlock asks Watson to hear the unusual story of the client. The client Wilson says that he runs a pawn shop. One day his assistant Spaulding showed an advertisement that there is an announcement for opening in the red-headed league. Okay. The announcement promised the salary of £4 per week. So assistant Vincent Spaulding forced the pawn shop owner to apply for that announcement. Okay. Then the pawn shop owner Wilson accepted into the red-headed league and learned that the nominal duties consist of coming to the office from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. After 8 weeks, one day Wilson arrived at the office and he saw the notice on the closed door that the red-headed league has been dissolved. By seeing that, Wilson was disturbed by the thought that someone had been playing a practical joke on him. This incident made him to meet Sherlock to get a solution. So Sherlock promises Wilson to look into that case. Then Wilson leaves from that place. Then Sherlock and his friend Watson moves to Wilson's pawn shop. Outside the pawn shop, Sherlock is walking up and down, and now and then he hits the ground outside the shop with his walking stick. Then Sherlock knocks on the door of the pawn shop. Then Vincent Spaulding opens the door. The legs of his trousers were dirty. Then Sherlock asks Spaulding the way to Strand. Then Vincent Spaulding replies and goes back into the shop and closes the door. Sherlock thought that he is a very clever young man. So Sherlock asks his friend Dr. Watson to meet him at night 10 o'clock to help Sherlock to find about this red-headed league. Okay. Up to that we had seen in last video. Now let us move on to the scene 2. The strong at a bank with many boxes and crates in it. Holmes, Watson, Jones and a policeman are on stage hiding behind some boxes. Here crates means wooden containers. Okay. Then the conversation between Holmes and Jones. Listen. Holmes, is everything ready upstairs, Mr. Jones? For that, Jones replied, my men are waiting at the front door of the bank and near the shop. Good, now we must be quiet and wait. He puts out the light. The strong room is dark, but we can see the men waiting behind the crates. Nothing happens. Watson looks at his watch. Here, we are going to see the conversation between Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, Mr. Jones and Vincent Spaulding. Okay. Here Sherlock and his friend Dr. Watson, then Mr. Jones and a policeman put off the lights and hiding behind the boxes and wooden containers on the strong room at a bank, and they were waiting for the thief. Okay. At the same time, the 3 police officers were also waiting at the front door of the bank and near the pawn shop to catch the thief. Okay. Watson whispering, it's 11:15 Holmes when Ush, don't spoil our investigation. They see a light coming through the stone floor. Suddenly, the stones give way. First, a hand with a gun comes out of the ground. Then, another hand, Spaulding, comes out, followed by Rose. Then, Spaulding to Rose. Now, have you got it? With his light, Holmes comes out from behind his box and hits Spaulding's arm. Now, the gun is on the ground. Rose quickly gets back into the tunnel. Jones wants to stop him, but he can't. Here at 11:15, Sherlock saw a light was coming through the stone floor of the strong room in the back. Okay, suddenly the stones were moved, and a hand with a gun comes out of the ground. Then another hand, the thief Spaulding, comes out, followed by Duncan Rose. Okay, with his light, Sherlock Holmes comes out from behind his box and hits Spaulding's arm. Now the gun is on the ground. Then the another thief, Duncan Rose, quickly gets back into the tunnel. Okay, here what's meant by tunnel? Tunnel means an artificial underground. Okay. Then Holmes, you can't get away, John Clay. No, but Rose, my friend. There are 3 men waiting for him at the other end. You think of everything, Mr. Holmes. You are very clever. So are you, John Clay? Your red-headed leak was clever. Finally, Sherlock caught Vincent Spaulding by his arm, and another thief, Duncan Rose, was caught by the 3 police officers waiting for him at the other side of the tunnel. Okay, so Vincent Spaulding was recognized to be notorious thief, and his red-headed leak was done in a clever way. Okay, next we move on to scene 3. Sherlock Holmes' study. Holmes and Watson are sitting on chairs. There was never any red-headed leak. The villains wanted Wilson away from the shop for some hours every day. Then Clay saw the color of Rose's hair and thought of a red-headed leak. So when Wilson went to work in their office every day, they had time to make their tunnel. They were very clever. Here we are going to see about how Holmes' study helps in red-headed leak. Here Holmes and Watson were discussing about the red-headed leak. Okay, here Sherlock Holmes explains to his friend Dr. Watson that the red-headed leak was just created to keep the Wilson away from the shop for some hours every day. So Vincent Spaulding made the pawn shop owner to join the job. Okay. So Spaulding is John Clay, the notorious thief. When did you first know that? I suspected when Spaulding was very happy to work for half wages. Why? I thought. Spaulding often went down to the cellar. What's he doing down there? I thought. Tunnels? Is Spaulding making a tunnel? I thought. To another building? Watson, you saw me hitting the ground with my stick outside the shop. Watson, yes, now I understand. You wanted to know if the cellar was in front of the shop. Holmes, yes, and it wasn't. The cellar was behind the shop. Then I saw the man Spaulding. I recognized him immediately. Did you see his trousers? They were dirty, Watson. Why? Because making a tunnel is dirty work. Very clever, Holmes. Then I went into the next street, the back of the shop, and what did I see? The bank. The bank, yes, of course. Why is that young man making a tunnel? I thought. To get into the bank's strong room, of course. But why tonight? How did you know? Because they closed the offices of the red-headed league. The tunnel must be ready. I thought. And Saturday is a good day. The bank does not open on Sunday. It would have given the thieves enough time to get away. Watson, laughing, but they didn't get away. Holmes, you are very clever. Holmes, in a serious tone, that's very true, Watson. Okay, we see the explanation for this scene 3. Here, Sherlock Holmes explains to his friend Dr. Watson that the red-headed leak was just created to keep the Wilson away from the shop for some hours every day. Okay, so Vincent Spaulding made the pawn shop owner to join the job from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. At the time, Vincent Spaulding and Duncan Rose had time to make the tunnel when Wilson went for his work. Okay, then Watson asked to Holmes that when did you first know about Spaulding? For that, Holmes replied that I had a doubt when Spaulding was very happy to work for half wages. Okay, then he was spending lot of time in underground of a pawn shop because Vincent Spaulding was making a tunnel to get into the strong room of the bank. Okay, at the next stage, actually, Vincent Spaulding wanted to find the entry of the strong room into the bank through the pawn shop. Okay, for that, Vincent Spaulding joined as an assistant for half wages in Wilson's shop. Okay, here Vincent main aim was making a tunnel from the pawn shop to the bank. Here he is not interested to work as an assistant to Wilson. Okay, here Sherlock got an information about Vincent Spaulding from the pawn shop owner Wilson and observed the pawn shop from outside. Here Sherlock also wanted to know who was inside the pawn shop and what they were doing. So Sherlock knocks the door of the pawn shop and asked Vincent Spaulding to ask the way for Strand. When Sherlock hits the ground with his walking stick and he saw the Spaulding trousers were very dirty because making tunnel is a dirty work. Okay, then he understood that they are making a tunnel from the back of the pawn shop to the bank. Okay, then here Holmes thought that the red-headed league office were closed. No, so the tunnel work must be ready. That's why they closed the red-headed league office. Okay, so Sherlock team were ready at the strong room in the bank of the Saturday night to the arrival of the thieves. Okay, when Vincent Spaulding and Duncan Rose were caught by the Sherlock Holmes and 3 police officers. So finally, a huge bank robbery was dissolved by a famous detective officer, Sherlock Holmes. Okay, now Sherlock Holmes and Watson were very happy by stopping the bank robbery by Sherlock's cleverness. Okay, students, I hope you understood this supplementary. Okay, the homework for you is read this glossary and write the test. Okay, then said true or false. First one, photography was Vincent Spaulding's hobby. Is photography Vincent Spaulding's hobby? No. So the answer for first one is false. Okay, second one, Mr. Rose did not want to hire Mr. Wilson. This one also wrong statement. So answer for this one is false. Okay, third one, Mr. Wilson worked for Mr. Rose for 6 weeks. No, this one also wrong. So the answer for third one is false. Fourth one, Mr. Jones was a lawyer. Is Mr. Jones was a lawyer? No, he is a detective from Scotland Yard. So fourth one also wrong statement. So the answer for fourth one is false. Then fifth one, Spaulding dug a tunnel from the cellar of the shop to the jewellery shop. Did he dug a tunnel from the cellar to the... No, he dug a tunnel to bank. So fifth statement also wrong. So the answer for fifth one is false. Okay, so students, I will give you the homework now. Read this glossary and say true or false. Okay, then write the test. Okay, thank you, students.